Hello, it's me, Mario. Woohoo! You watching GRTV, my favorite. Wahoo!
A long time ago, on a very peculiar day, my mirror lured someone out of his bed and opened a doorway to my workshop. I do not know if the mirror was being mischievous or malicious.
So we're looking at Epic Mickey, and I'm here with Warren Spector, gaming luminary Warren Spector, I would say. So my biggest question for you is, given your past games, it always seemed quite strange that you're doing a Mickey Mouse game. Are you a fan of Disney?
I've been a fan of Disney since the day I was born. There wasn't much opportunity to talk about it back in the days when I was doing, the Deus Ex, System Shock, Ultima games. But it's always been there. Now I've just been able to talk about it a little more openly.
And what sort of access did Disney give you to their records, and how did they support you when making Epic Mickey?
Well, the support's been incredible. In fact, they came and asked me if I wanted to do it. So, a lot of people think, oh, did you have to sell them really hard? And, did they sort of put you in handcuffs and stuff? And no, there were no handcuffs. I mean, they asked me to do this. So there was no selling involved. And I've had input from people from feature animation. I've talked to people at Pixar. I've been in the Disney archives. There are, I think, 7 different archives on the various Disney campuses, and I think I've been in all of them now. The Imagineering Resource Library was fantastic. The Animation Research Library was great. The Disney Consumer Products Lounge, that's what they call their sort of research room. They've been great. So yeah, they kind of opened the archives to us in any way we needed to get in there to dig around.
So what are the archives like? Are they literally sketchbooks and sketchbooks, or do you have reels in there? Do you have digital video?
Well, it's a little bit of everything. A funny story, when I went into the Imagineering Research Library, they apologized because they had only scanned 90,000 images so far. I mean, yeah, okay, that's a lifetime's worth of work, but it's probably, well, I shouldn't guess. I mean, I was going to say it's 10% of what they actually have there, but I mean, who knows what they've got in the Imagineering archive. The Animation Research Library, I went in there and asked for, let me see everything you got about Alice in Wonderland. And they just laughed. I mean, it's like, could you narrow that down a little bit? And there's a prop library and a costume library. I mean, it's incredible. The Disney really did preserve its entire history, and we've tried to capture just a small part of that, respect for heritage in the game.
Because the game's very much about forgotten Disney characters. Is that right? And this access to the archives is where these characters have come from.
That's exactly right. I wanted to remind everybody how incredibly rich Disney's creative history has been. The Disney company and Walt himself, touched all of us in some way, even if we try to deny it sometimes. I mean, he touched all of us, and really, I think was one of the most influential people of the 20th century. Changed things, and I wanted to sort of put all that on the screen, and being able to get into the archives. And obviously watch all those old cartoons and all the old films and the documentaries about the creation of all the theme parks, and all that stuff was vital to the capturing what we wanted to capture in the game.
So why did you make the decision to make it slightly darker than some of the other things that Disney have done? Well, not as dark as the darkest stuff, but it's still for Mickey Mouse. It's slightly. It's got a bit of a noir feel to it. It's a bit edgy, would you say?
Maybe a bit, but Disney has a long history of sort of contrast, of combining the light and the dark. When Maleficent changes into a dragon at the end of Sleeping Beauty, I mean, that's terrifying. Someone I was talking to actually this week was telling me how terrifying Cruella de Vil was when they were a kid. There are parts of Snow White and Alice in Wonderland that they bring back some nightmares if you think about them. So I think that's always been a part of the Disney heritage, and I wanted to tap into it. But also, I I wanted to try and remind people what an adventurous, heroic character Mickey has been at various points in his career. And if you're going to be a hero, you've got to have something really big to push up against. Big challenges, epic challenges, one might say. And so, you need a big problem to solve. And the big problem here is one that actually Mickey caused himself. Wasteland is devastated by Mickey's mischief. And so it's a game about, taking responsibility for what you do and solving some really big problems. And the really big problem creates a really dark world, I guess.
You mentioned taking responsibility for your actions, and Mickey can at times take a good or bad path. He can do nasty things to people if he wants to. Was this a design decision that, again, given your rich history in developing games, there's always been an element of choice? Was this what you brought to development as well?
There was no doubt in my mind from day one that there was going to be choice and consequence in this game. If you look at the manifesto I wrote for Junction Point, it's up on my blog site. We will never I have no interest in working on games that don't offer players choices and reveal the consequences of those choices. So of course it was going to be in here, but let me clear up one thing. In all of my games, I've offered choices and consequences, but I have never judged, or at least I've tried not to judge. I've never applied the words good, bad, right, wrong, light, dark, evil, pure. I mean, I don't judge. And in this game, it really is a little bit of a mistake to say good and bad. Mickey can draw and he can erase. He can solve problems the way he wants, and you'll see the consequences. But even painting, I mean, everybody says, oh, painting good, erasing evil. And it's not true. Even the painting side has a cost. Just like in Deus Ex, just like in Thief, just like in the Ultima games. It's really about what you think is good and what you think is bad and what you think is fun and what you think is not. There's no morality system in the game. It's not that kind of game. It's just what kind of hero are you?
And finally, Deus Ex 3 is on the show floor. I was wondering if you had a chance to go take a look at it yet.
I've seen the stuff that everybody's seen, and I think it looks phenomenal. I mean, I can't wait to play it. I mean, it's the first time there's a Deus Ex game where I don't know all the secrets. So how cool is that?
Excellent. Thanks for your time. Cheers.